Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Are you ready to have your genetic data sold?
Yeah.
Without your consent? There's nothing you can do about it?
That's the thing with the leaks of the 24, what is it? 21 and me?
23 and me.
23 and me. I just hope that they finally discover me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, this guy is like
We've
the
discovered
best,
a brand
you know?
new species.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy has nothing that we've ever seen in any other human before.
Yes. His DNA is straight like an arrow.
I have to
Or
send
something.
a message quickly. I'm sorry.
A message
I
to the
had to because I got asked a question and I was like, I should answer now or else I'm going to feel like I'm
23 and me is asking you, do you want your data sold? And you were
No,
like,
well,
no.
it was not. No, it was more like 23 and me. I got an email to my personal account from them saying, "Hey, we love your podcast. Would you like us to sponsor?" And I had already replied, "Yeah." And then all of the bankrupt stuff came out today, and I was like,
Yeah. What, do we still go with the commercial or no, I guess?
I'm not going to answer that question, Max, but I will say I got my results back the other day, and the service is so quick, and it's so interesting, the kind of results you get.
Yeah, and it's
I
also
found out
very
I'm
interesting
85%, yes?
it's also interesting that the one you got had the thing where you put it down in your penis, down your urethra, and you inject it, and you take the material, genetic material from there, right? And right? That's what the one that you got?
I don't like that.
Because I got that one when I did it. So you know.
Again, I don't feel like it's appropriate to answer in the middle of this natural discussion that we're having.
Yeah, I got that one. So yeah.
But you know, it's the darndest thing I opened up. 85% white. Wasn't expecting it. I thought there's got to be like 20, like there's got to be like 30, 35% or something.
It's really cool because your report was written in like like just black pen, like it wasn't printed on anything. They just said knife. Had a blood stain on the paper that they sent
a lot of
you.
it was in crayon as well.
And crayon.
There was like a crayon drawing of like a guy, like a black outline kind of thing, and then somebody had like done like 85% of it in like green, and then there's a color key on the side that says like green equals white. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
and then then the rest of it is colored in red, and the color key says red is dog, so I don't know what that means. It's a little confusing.
Well,
so I'm a white dog apparently.
I can't think of there's a lot of white breeds out there.
And as I was saying earlier, I stole some of Max's genetic material and sent it off.
Yeah.
And I've got those results back. And as I said earlier, your outline is full purple, and the purple is question marks. So I think you're a first, man.
How many question marks is it?
2.5.
Oh, that's interesting.
It looks like they did half of a question mark.
Did they try to do the third one and then it like scrolled into like some they got dragged away from the paper?
It does kind of pull off of the paper a bit. Yeah,
yeah,
it does.
Environmental storytelling.
I thought it was like maybe they sneezed in the middle of the letter and it made the hand go. But no, it looks, now I'm looking at it more, it's like they got pulled away from by something. Well, if you'd like to know more about your genetic makeup, you can use discount code bankruptcy Ensigns.
Ensigns?
Oh wait, no, they're bankrupt. They probably won't accept discount codes now because they're going to sell all of our genetic material to.
That's true.
Make back all the money they lost on the company, because it's you kind of have like a set amount of clients with that one. Right?
Yeah.
After a certain point, it's like nobody's asking to do that genetic makeup a second time.
It's unfortunate that like they got themselves into a dead end, didn't they? They were like, in this economy that's based on like, infinite growth, it's like how we
especially because it's like there's no new customers. Because you think about, let's say, like clothes, for example, clothing. People need to buy new clothes, but then on top of that, you need clothes for kids, right?
Yeah. That's
you do
true.
if two parents do if two parents do 23andMe, the kids don't need to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just mix up the two parents, and they're like anything that's in that, basically.
At least that's what my wife told me.
Do you think there's a couple that was like...
Definitely.
They were ever like, we should do 23andMe, like, to find out our family, and one of the couple was like, no, we don't need to work that out.
Yeah, we don't have to do this.
No, we don't need to.
Let's not open that Pandora box, you know?
Yeah, just in case. Just in case, you know. Just in case.
You're
I'm glad
20% Hitler.
I'm glad the 23andMe thing happened today, because it gives a good opening to talk about, because I really didn't want to, like, fall back on the easy Elon Musk thing, you know?
I don't even know what happened with him recently.
There was this video going around of some dinner at Mar-a-Lago at the White House.
Seen that,
and you see he's balancing the things on his finger.
Forks or something, like he's like piling them up.
Just like...
He's a child.
I hate him. I hate to be like... So, I don't know. It feels a little gauche these days to be like this, especially since I was one of the first haters of Elon Musk, even when everybody loved him because he was a lib.
Well, now those receipts up. Show us that you were the original Elon Musk.
I will. I have them Discord messages. I remember when the Hyperloop thing, the Boring Company thing was put out there, and I remember arguing with a friend of ours, saying this shit's stupid and lame and doesn't make any sense, and he was like, pretty cool though, right? I like the idea. Never mind. We don't need to get into it. But either way, it's like I just don't like it, man.
Well, you're committing a treasonous act currently.
It's not treason. I'm not an American citizen. It wouldn't be treason. If anything, I would be doing my own nation a favor by discrediting the officials of the other.
But what you
That's
don't
propaganda.
realize
I'm creating propaganda right now.
Soon enough, we're all going to be American when we get invaded by the USA. You know, it's going to be unfortunate.
I don't think that'll happen.
I think they're going to jump to Greenland, and then from Greenland, they're going to grab the UK, you know?
I don't think they'll be invaded. I feel like they'll just say we want the UK, and Keir Starmer will be like, yep, all right, so.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I don't want to do this, but unfortunately I have to. And everybody's going to be going, why? And he's like, well...
No, they'll do a referendum, and Starmer's going to be like, they'll never vote for this. And then somehow... everybody voted for it. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
I had a dream over the weekend.
Is this continuation of...
No. I forgot about that bit entirely. This is utterly...
Oh, no. So you... oh, those poor soldiers. I can't believe they're stuck in purgatory.
Well, I don't care anymore because I stopped having the dreams after dying in one of them, and I woke up, and then I never got the dreams again, but I'm still going. So evidently I was the prime.
That's true.
And not whatever was in the dream. And you know what? Different reality, different guy's problem, not me. I don't give a fuck. Let him rot.
Maybe I'll pick him up someday, those dreams where you left them off.
No, I feel like in 30 years he's going to come through a portal and kill me as revenge for not trying hard enough. I don't know. We'll see.
But your lover from the dreams. Yeah. Go on.
I had a dream where we got like a video response to a podcast. There was a YouTube video, and I was watching it, and somebody made it, and they were angry. They were trying to explain to us why we were
bad or something.
Too stupid. No, we were talking about some political issue, and they made a video response to explain how wrong we were about it. And I was like, wow. I wanted to leave. In my dream, I was like, I want to leave a comment on this guy's video. I want to try and... Because it was also like he was kind of a fan. He was like, it was a fun episode, but this thing you guys talked about, it shows how stupid you are. You know, you don't understand the geopolitical ramifications of what you're saying. And I was like, this guy's fine.
Yeah. Thank you. Was you gonna? Yeah. Was it supposed to be a positive message? You're like, oh, thank you. Like,
I can't remember entirely. Yeah. I think I wanted to make fun of him a little bit. I wanted to be like I wanted to build a brand, so I didn't want to like call him a stupid idiot or anything. And I also felt, I think in the dream, I felt intellectually inferior to the man in the video because he was explaining it, and I was like, you know what? I didn't consider these other side of this stuff.
You lost the debate.
I did. It was one-sided, and I was like, in my dream, I was like, I'm not going to even bring it up because I'll be honest, I evidently do not know as much as this guy in the situation.
Some dream reader could take out some implications from this. Maybe impotence. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Well.
Okay. I don't know, man. I'm not a dreamer. I don't think I have impotence, but you never know. I think it's more, I don't like conflict.
I haven't checked.
I don't like conflict. So I think I shy away from the conflict
that's true.
Given by the video.
Yeah.
That was my dream.
And then it turns into a nightmare when you try to respond to the comment, and you're like, I'm gonna be nice, and then you fall over and you click all the buttons and says you're stupid, and then it sends it, and you're like,
man, I'd sneeze and headbutt the keyboard in such a way that it says "fuck you, stupid dumb bitch." Enter.
Like wanted.
And I'm like, no, I didn't want to say that, and he sees it. The second one he was watching, and it comes up immediately for him. He's like, what the fuck? I can't delete it.
And then that says, you're making me kill myself. Next video, there is video response. You know. And
I don't think I really get nightmares.
I get them from time to time when it's like an intense time for me. When I grow up, when my hormones are acting up, when I'm developing.
As happens to you every 2 months.
Yeah, every 2 months.
Yeah, they reset.
That's why the genetic tests were so like why that's why whoever bought it were immediately like
questionable.
This guy, like, we gotta get him into our super secret Reacher program. I think that's what the conclusion
Spoiler
was.
alert, we watched Reacher this week.
Yeah, and welcome everybody to Dead Ensigns, the #1 Reacher podcast, I'm pretty sure now. From
Boogie Nights podcast.
Boogie Nights.
#1 porn pod. I don't want to say that shit. That sounds good. Definitely shouldn't say that one.
The porn category.
#1 Boogie Nights podcast.
Yeah.
But not what the movie's, not the subject material of the movie.
Mm-hmm. This is
we don't fuck with that.
And this is, who is it?
I'm Ben.
Yeah.
You don't want to say Ben? Whenever I introduce you, I say, I'm Ben and this is Max. And you go, hello. Like for me, you're like, you say your own fucking name.
The thing is, it's
bitch.
like saying a demon's name. You know, you weaken them.
You're saying so you don't want to weaken them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because you're like a good demon, you know? You're like a good demon. But for some reason, you're a demon, you know? So it's like surprising.
For some reason, I'm a demon.
I don't know. You haven't told me why you know.
I don't know why I'm a demon. It's like asking somebody why they're black or something. It's like that's not how it works.
Well,
this is the way you're born, right?
Okay, well, I'm not gonna.
I don't know why I'm a demon. I didn't even know until 5 seconds ago.
Didn't the 23andMe tell you?
No, I already told you. 85% white, 15% dog.
The little picture didn't have horns on it. The little crayon guy that the guy drew on the report didn't have horns on it.
It did have a tail.
Oh, that's like with a little heart.
That's where a lot of that's where a lot of the dog percentage was.
Specifically,
which is promising, I suppose.
Yeah. So we watched. Are we talking about the what do you want to talk about?
Let's do a generalized.
Or do we want to watch
a little bit of a week?
Talk about actual Severance, which is an actual good show.
No, because I feel like that would be all spoilers, so we'll save that for the end just in case.
Yeah, that's true.
Because otherwise it will be like somebody might be listening first episode ever and they go right in and it's let's talk about spoilers for Severance for 30 minutes. They're going to be like different podcast.
Yeah.
But if it's 30 minutes of talking about Reacher or some bullshit, they might be like, I'll stick around then stop before the Severance.
They're driving a car and then we're like, oh, we're about to talk about Severance season ending.
They rush
and
they're like,
iPod. Stop, no, and then they crash in a violent.
Yeah, they rush for their iPod Nano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cause a 7-car pileup.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Very sad, very sad. Max, how was your week this week? I heard you watched Dracula.
I did watch Nosferatu. I finished watching Nosferatu.
Eggers
one, and I watched Coppola vampire movie or whatever. You know, it was fun. I liked it.
It was British. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula too.
Yeah, it's very corny. It's really kind of like out there with its like little, you know, like the crossfades. Like this movie is full of.
But you know,
crossfades.
there's
It's funny.
only one. You know, there's only one digital effect in the entire film.
Really?
And it's the
the
fire.
fog?
No, the fire for like when he goes to Dracula's castle and there's like a blue flame or something.
That's digital. That looked like they just looked at
That's the only thing in the whole movie that isn't like in-camera effects.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Everything else is it's a great bit of movie making.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did a lot of awesome stuff in that film to make that film, and brilliant costumes.
Yeah, exactly. The blood armor, you know, like the muscle armor was really fun. That
When
Dracula has.
He has the monstrous Dracula version at one point where he's like a big scary bat monster, Gary Oldman, and it looks awesome. It's a great movie. Keanu Reeves is not very good in it.
He's not very, but he's very funny to like listen to.
He's funny. He's like, I think even Coppola and a lot of people that work on the film have said in hindsight that it's like, yeah, we really shouldn't have put this on him.
Yeah,
It's like this was not good for his career, and it wasn't even good for the movie in the first place.
And the thing about it is that it's really like funny to kind of look at him because you can see that there's so much brain power is going towards maintaining that really bad accent.
Because it's so bad.
It's incredibly.
It's shocking. Like it. I know everybody loves Keanu Reeves because he's like seems to be the only genuinely nice person who is an actor, a big actor.
Yeah.
But like, he's so awful. He's generally awful, but in this film, he's like atrocious.
He's just miscasted, you know. Like that's the thing. You gotta cast him for something that fits him, you know.
Sure, but the thing you fit him for is somebody who doesn't act.
True. Yeah.
His best role, the role everybody loves him most for, is John Wick, the guy who like says nothing and stands stoically and shoots a gun.
I kind of liked him in what's that Darkly movie, the one where it's like so shaded, like all of
Darkly.
Yeah, I kind of liked him in that. He's like pretty okay,
but also he's animated. He's just providing voice, basically.
True.
And then they're drawing over him, but you don't know how much creative liberty they had drawing over him. Rose.
True.
Yeah. He's fun in Point Break too, you know? Surfing movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also, you know, it's a very romantic movie.
Point Break?
Yes, but also Dracula.
Oh, I was thinking, because that's why I immediately thought about Point Break, because it's like very strangely kind of like, you know.
It's homoerotic.
Homoerotic.
Yes. It's 100% very homoerotic.
Exactly, you know. And it is a very romantic
Dracula's
film,
very romantic. I remember the ending being more touching than I would anticipate.
Yeah, like I feel like he's kind of in that movie he's portrayed the most kind of favorably out of all the movies that
incredibly
I watched.
Sympathetic. He's very sympathetic to Dracula in Dracula.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
which is why I think that movie's so good.
In Nosferatu the Vampire, you know, he is still like he is portrayed as someone that can't control himself. Like he's literally like this like entity that doesn't have a choice, you know. In what?
You were on a real vampire kick, weren't you? The last couple.
No,
weeks?
I don't know. I don't really know.
You wanted to learn about Dracula and his spin-off Nosferatu, his legally distinct.
Yeah,
Nosferatu.
Yeah, I still don't. I would have to look this up because I still don't know. I guess Dracula is the person. Nosferatu is the vampire. Like the act that he is the curse.
It's a legal thing. It's a legal thing.
I know, but it's like in this movie they call him Dracula, of course, but they also they call the curse Nosferatu, and he creates Nosferatus, where the lady becomes in Bram Stoker's
in the Coppola one, right?
Yeah, in the Coppola.
Okay,
When you know the lady gets turned into a vampire too, like they also call her a Nosferatu, you know. So I'm like,
right?
I don't know.
I think I think Nosferatu is something that's in the original book of Dracula.
Yeah.
But is not a term that is owned by the Bram Stoker estate. So they can use that but you're not allowed to do Dracula
Yeah,
without the express consent of the estate of
the estate.
Bram Stoker.
So yeah, this movie does kind of, but I think he's like, I feel like he does less damage in general. It seems to the general public in this, he is kind of like keeps to himself sort of thing. Like
I mean, he does mess up. He does mess up that one lady pretty badly.
Yeah, he does. He turns into like a werewolf.
He becomes the werewolf and fucks her.
Yeah.
Again, very cool scene.
Yeah, exactly.
The lightning and everything.
But like you have the plague, and I don't think this movie. I don't know. It doesn't have the plague. You know,
no, there's
like
no plague.
Yeah, so it is kind of separate from the idea of like that, because even the Eggers one has the plague. Like, he literally brings the plague onto the or whatever.
I think the plague seems more central to Nosferatu more than it does Dracula.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But it was a very fun film, and like you said, the ending is a lot more like touching.
It's a lot. It humanizes Dracula a lot in that film. It's about him as a person.
Yeah.
Who has left God's light more than it does like a monster.
Yeah, and
because God took his love from him.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And like it's like she gets an Ottoman, shoots an arrow into her window that says Dracula's dead, and she goes like, "Well, I guess I gotta end it."
Yeah, that's tragedy, man. That's some classic tragedy.
Immediately,
that's
these
how
enemies.
That's how you know how pure their love was.
That's true.
Is that she didn't even want to think for 1 second of continuing to live in a world that he might possibly.
And the thing is about that movie is that Winona Ryder doesn't do an accent in it, so it's like weird that Keanu Reeves does an accent.
I don't get it.
Like,
I don't get it. I guess he wanted to try. I guess he really wanted to try.
I want to expand my range.
Oh, Mr. Stoker. Welcome to England, to London. That's a movie where I'd recommend. Obviously, you've already seen it, but if you ever see it playing in a theater, I'd recommend it. That's a very good movie for the theater.
Yeah, I really just love the fun little things that this movie does with like the shadow of Dracula, like moves independently from.
It's like, just also like, it's just great movie making.
And it's like some of the effects are like so like they're so out there, sometimes like he goes like there's a scene where the what they called like the ride, the thing that the cart pulls, the horses pull it,
a cart, a buggy,
whatever they call
carriage.
it, there's carriage, the carriage that takes him to the Dracula's before he gets in, he like stops. Another carriage pulls up, and it's like a demon knight that like is on it, and he's like 5 meters away from it, and the guy like pulls his arm out. He doesn't move from the doesn't jump off of the carriage, but the arm just extends and then pushes Keanu Reeves into the carriage. It's like, this is awesome. Like, this is great. It's
real quick. What did you think of the Robert Eggers Nosferatu? Now that you finished it.
I really liked it. It was it was also quite touching, I guess. It's with that idea of like, it is very much the same story as the original Nosferatu. Although the Nosferatu in this one is a more of a because like I said, like
he's a force. He's more of a he's a representation of the force that I can't remember her name because I saw the movie like 3 months ago now, but the lady in it is a representation of her like uncontrollable desires and stuff. This kind of darkness.
And like he's even more of a villain, in this one than
he's like, I'll just kill everybody until you come to me.
It's like in
he eats those babies.
Yeah, and the child death.
Spoilers.
We got a big plus for that child death in this movie.
What do you mean a big plus?
Because it's like that's what they say. It's like you gotta kill a child in your movie, at some point, and then you get a good big plus for it,
Maybe with you sick fuck. This is a big down. I don't want to see a child dying.
That's my letterbox music list is child death, you know.
Yeah.
And then
movies this is my letterbox list of movies where the children die on
the
camera.
the Twilight Zone movie or something, you know.
Oh, ooh. But true.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think they used that footage in the film. I'm gonna assume. I haven't seen the Twilight Zone movie, but I'm gonna assume
they did.
Yeah, I assume they did not.
It's like you know, he's like, it's here. It might as well use it.
I like the Eggers Nosferatu, and I think I said this probably a couple months on the podcast. But I think it's his like most straightforward movie.
It is, yeah.
It's not really like all his other 3 films are great and were always a treat, but this one is like you get exactly what you expect to get when you go in, I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. Like a little bit. Like I really like the visually. I really like when there's that scene where he like reaches his hand over the sea and it like outstretches and covers the sea in the shadow. It's like there's a lot of very cool visual stuff in this movie too.
Good performances, obviously.
Good performances. Like the female lead is really good. I was very physical performance.
Lily
and
Rose
just
Depp, right?
Yeah. Nepo baby. No, I don't know. Whatever.
Yoga Hosa alumni. Remember Yoga Hosers?
No.
There's the Kevin Smith. Did you ever see Tusk?
She was in that.
Yeah, was. It was Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, and Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp.
I know she was in Tusk, but I didn't know she was in Yoga Hoses.
It's a spin-off. Yoga Hoses is a spin-off of that because they play the same character, same convenience store characters. Yeah, Lily Rose Depp in Yoga Hoses. You ever see Yoga Hoses?
No, but I heard it was bad.
Either. It looks like dog shit. It's a Kevin Smith movie, so what do you expect?
What
do you expect? Anyway, quite a step up for her from Yoga Hoses.
True. To, she does a good job, you know.
And Tusk. And Tusk.
But,
you know how it is. Sometimes you gotta be it. Sometimes your dad's friend and his daughter are making a movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'll be in Tusk. That sounds fun. Tusk is really bad, too. Why are we talking about Tusk again? Nosferatu. It was pretty good. I'm glad you like Bram Stoker's
He kind of
Dracula.
has tusks, you know.
He does. He's got those big-ass teeth.
Big-ass teeth.
For sucking up blood.
Yeah. And... Yeah, I liked William Dafoe's character. I really liked him. Like, just kind of like this esoteric, like he gets banished from universities because he's like all this esoteric stuff is like fake and shit, and he's like, no, it's real. It's like very real. We have fucking vampires in this world. What are you talking about? It's not real.
The knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
all of the ancient European tribal stuff is forgotten now because it doesn't come into cities. But that's that's Nosferatu. He's coming to the city.
Yeah, and. He kind of looks like Nosferatu, looks like more of a corpse in this, like rather than like
you see his whole body at the end, and he's all like fucking, he's got legions and stuff. He's all like gross and good movie. It's a good movie.
And apparently they took care of the rats in this one. They made sure specifically
they counted them all before, and they counted them all
did
afterwards.
Actually. No, really, they did.
All the rats.
It was
I don't know.
Rats. It was 5,000
I'm sure they
rats.
did. You know,
they didn't boil them
Robert
in
Eggers,
bleach or whatever.
Robert Eggers had like a coat with like 7 or 8 rats just sitting inside in case he saw any of them like go missing. He'd
That's
like
true.
lean down and be like, pull one out of his coat. I found one. He was over here. I got him.
At least he would have took at least would try to cover it up. Well, Herzog was like, I'll just boil these rats alive,
I'm not defending Werner Herzog. I'm just trying to
I'm sorry, but it sounds like you do.
I'm just trying to come up with a humorous scenario. I'm on a PTA
What if Robert
kick
Eggers
next.
is a big, just a guy, just a bunch of rats?
What if Robert Eggers listened to our podcast?
That would be awesome. I want to be in the next movie that you make, or so Eggers.
Like he's just some weirdo that listens to like really tiny podcasts.
Really tiny podcasts.
He just goes to like the newest tab or whatever and goes like sort by like low views. He's like, all right, this one dead ends.
That'd be interesting. That would be a cool for a week try to do that. Like just
see what you find.
We'll see maybe a little gem like Dead Ensigns.
Maybe a little
number one podcast.
Diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough.
Dead Ensigns.
Maybe.
Ooh, make
These
some
guys are
PTA
talking
kick.
about Star Trek. Go on.
The new trailer for the next Paul Thomas Anderson film came out.
Oh, what is it?
You know, the man. There will be blood and such.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'm not going to comment on the trailer because I didn't watch it, but it did remind me that I'd be meaning to look at, because I've only ever seen like 3 Paul Thomas Anderson films. Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood, and Licorice Pizza, and he's got quite the oeuvre. So I thought I'd go through. So I watched the first 2 this week. I'll probably watch some more this week. Hard 8, with a young John C. Reilly in it.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's funny because he's the kind of guy that has always looked about 47 years old.
Well, there are certain people like that, you know.
I know, but he's one of those guys where it's like, I can see that he's young in this movie, you know?
Yeah.
He's in his 20s or whatever. But still, he just has the look of a 47. You know the whole thing nowadays where people will go like, why do like 25-year-olds look like children these days, but 25-year-olds like 80 years ago look like grown men, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they do that. The soy, John C. Reilly is like, it's for the soy, it's the soy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. John C. Reilly seems to be a holdover from that era. But
he's got the kind of cool thing that he has access to modern medicine, therefore he doesn't shrivel up and die like the children back in those days would.
I won't hang on these films too long. Hard 8 was good. It was a great directorial debut. You can see the Paul Thomas Anderson, the stuff that comes in his later films, you know, starting out here. Good performances. I don't know. It's a very moody film, I guess. You know, it's about a man taking like a young man under his wing and teaching him how to be like, not like, you know Card Counter, how he picks up that boy and he's like, I'll teach you how to count cards and stuff. It's kind of like that, where he picks up John C. Reilly and he's like, he doesn't teach him how to gamble, but he just kind of introduces him to this world in Las Vegas where he just kind of lives, and they make like a living wage basically gambling, you know?
Yeah.
But not by doing any big things, just by doing like safe bets, you know?
Yeah.
Little scams you can run basically to get like a free room at a hotel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
they're not like thriving, they're just kind of surviving and like
exactly. But you know, it goes off the rails, and there's a lot of stuff about fatherhood in there, you know, and all that kind of stuff. The relationship between sexes. It was a good movie. Then today I watched Boogie Nights, and I liked Boogie Nights a lot.
You like Boogie Nights?
Film. Boogie Nights was very good.
Because you love pornography, right?
It's like the thing I said before. I think pornography is interesting conceptually, but I don't consume it.
You can explore it further. I feel like people very shallowly explore pornography. I feel like you can get really deep in there, you know?
I agree. But what more can I say about Boogie Nights? It's like a fucking 30-year-old film. You can go and watch it. It's good. People smarter than me have talked about it.
This is like racist stuff, right? Race crime, Marky Mark, right? Or is this after?
Yeah, it would have been like 1997 that the movie came out. So I think it would have been... Didn't he do that like before he became famous?
Maybe.
I feel like he did that before Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He was like going around Boston allegedly. I don't know if I have to say allegedly here, but I'll say it anyway, just in case.
I think he was in prison for it, so I don't know. But
either way,
allegedly.
The racist attacks that he did. Which, it's interesting because he gets attacked for homosexual prostitution in this film as well.
It was before.
This movie was before?
No. I mean, he did that stuff before.
Right. Yeah, no, I assume so. I feel like it would have been a bigger deal if he did that shit, like, after becoming famous. It probably would have been a bigger deal. If that happened, you probably wouldn't have been asking the question.
Yeah, that would be interesting if, like, that's what people would be like. Well, like, he did that after he became famous, and people would be like, well, Bill Cosby is like, wow, he did that. What Marky Mark did. He's like the level that people compare themselves to. It's like heinous shit.
It's a very grounded and down to earth movie. I liked it. It was you get to see, like, I mean, it's what you expect from this kind of film. You get to see the rise and the fall of somebody in this industry, all the drugs and such, and the problems that arise, aging into it and stuff. Because he starts to get jealous because it's the porn industry. There's a lot of turnaround on people,
Yeah.
And one day he's the guy with the dick that everybody wants to see. Then there's a new young guy coming in. What if people want to start seeing his dick instead of mine?
He chops it off.
You got a lot of analogs to, I guess, the film industry at large.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boogie Nights was good. I'd recommend it. Very good performances. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman in there as well. A bit. Not like a major role, but like he's pretty present. Decently funny, and some really nice long take shots. Really good stuff.
Good porn.
Stuff. Not of porn. You actually see there's like no porn in the film.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say.
It's not like today where it's like you got Anora where it's like you see them simulated fucking.
Yeah, we know what they say. It's like.
It's tasteful. It's surprisingly tasteful, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Porn unseen does not mean porn not enjoyed.
They do say that. I've heard you say that many times. Funnily enough, I've never heard anybody else say it, though.
I'm people. That's why they're so interested in my DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of brain that comes up with this sort of stuff is wild. This guy's wild. You need this guy writing stuff.
Yeah.
You need this guy in charge of some kind of business.
Yeah.
Making bold moves.
Like a psychopath.
Exactly. You never know where he's going.
It's like Ender's Game. Let's get that guy as an Ender's Game type scenario.
What did we both do this week, Max? That's all I'll talk about. I didn't do much else.
Are you reaching for it? Can we reach for it now?
In case of emergency, reach for emergency breacher.
Yeah.
And we're smashing it. This isn't like a big thing. I wasn't planning for this to be a big thing, but I watched the entire first season. You ended up watching the whole first season.
Yeah.
I just wanted something to watch while I was working, to have on as background noise, but I ended up being more entertained by it than I thought I would be. Reacher on Amazon.
Yes,
Amazon
that's
Prime
true.
Video. It always feels weird being like, from Amazon Prime Video comes Reacher, It's like, what are we doing here?
A lot of ads.
What are we doing here? Hey, maybe for you, not for me. I'm a high roller, baby.
You're the high? Are you serious?
I'm a high roller. I don't want to see a second of ads for stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to see a single moment.
All right. Well.
And I didn't.
Okay.
Did I watch it on Prime Video? Well, it's a different question.
Yeah.
I may not answer whether I saw it on Prime Video.
That's true.
But I definitely didn't see it with ads. I can tell you that.
Prime spelled with B instead of P.
Prime Video? It's like a B-Flix type thing?
Yes, I guess,
Popular piracy website that I do not use. And I do not condone either.
Nope, we're not. If
Keep
they
it away
sponsor
from
us,
me.
If they sponsor
You
us,
don't.
maybe.
I don't think you want to be sponsored by a piracy website.
I want to be sponsored
feel like that
by
gets you in
boner
trouble.
pills more than anything, honestly.
You want some like Viagra?
Yeah, I want them to send me some.
Why?
I don't know. I would do.
Like, do you want to take some, or
no? I don't need it.
you just want to have some?
I want to have some. Yeah.
Not for taking, you just want to have some at hand.
It'll be. I'll make like a 3D printed glass thing for it, so I can shatter it if I need it at any point.
In case of emergency.
Yeah, when I have a break-in, I can take it.
Okay.
And then the person breaking will be like, "Why is this person having a boner right now? I gotta get out of here." And it's like, well, it saved my life.
Do you think that would genuinely stop somebody if they were breaking into your house?
I don't.
Do you think if you were getting burgled and somebody saw that you were hard while doing it, do you think they would be like, "I gotta get out of here"? I feel like they'd more likely be like, "I have to kill this guy." They're gonna do something about this.
Maybe that's true, but you never know. I feel like you gotta act. You have to use all the angles. You gotta use what in a fight, in a life or death scenario. You gotta use every single angle you can.
I feel like sometimes people overestimate the power of being weird. Like being weird, you can sometimes stun lock your opponent, and give you a moment. Yeah, but I think there comes a point where if you're too weird, it doesn't phase them. They're already in the moment, and they're just like, I'm just gonna keep on my path.
They downloaded you, at that point, and you're like, yeah, this guy he's pretending to be weird, actually. And
then the outcome there is you've been weird to no benefit of anyone. You've just been a freak for no reason, to a detriment, really.
Yeah.
Because if anything, you've just wasted your time and are still in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reacher
would never do this.
Or they'll do like, I'll be involved in some like public thing, and they'll do an interview with me as like a witness, and I'll pop the pills, and then I'll have a boner the entire time while they're interviewing me for TV, So
I just think they just wouldn't put it on TV.
You think they would lift the camera up a little and just film me from waist down? They would film me.
Maybe they'd do that, but even then, it's like they would I feel like they just wouldn't put it on TV at that point.
No,
they'd just be like, "Why was that guy getting an erection at that time? Let's maybe not let's maybe not use his clips." That's what happens. You get filmed for TV, and they're like, "Yeah, it'll be on tonight," and then you put it on, and you didn't even get used. And you'll be like, "That was a waste of a Viagra."
Yeah,
not sponsored. We are not sponsored by Viagra.
No. But
anyway, I think from now on, if I'm ever in an alleyway and I get jumped by 7 guys, I'm going to think, what would Jack Reacher do here?
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Because he's logical and he's blunt.
Yes, he's calculating, He's
calculating.
All the time.
Did you like the bit near the end when his friend Neely was like, he doesn't believe in coincidences, he only believes in statistics.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah, it is dumb. I feel like it's an entertaining show, but
it's so entertaining. But this guy is the dumbest character.
Near at the end, I was a little bit like, there is a scene when they're fighting in the warehouse that's on fire.
Yeah,
where he cuts a bag of like the feed that's in the thing, and I'm like, why is he doing that? And then I'm like, is it gonna like absorb some? Is it gonna absorb some like flammable liquid? He's gonna set it all on fire or something? And the entire thing is that the guy walks past it and looks at it, and that's a distraction enough for the Reacher to take advantage. Dude, I'm like, what the fuck?
So many of his genius moves are just being like, I'm gonna count to 3, and you better get out of here.
Yeah,
1,
exactly.
2, and then he hits them in the middle of 2. So much of his stuff is just sucker punching people.
It is, yes, that's true.
So Reacher is probably like the smartest guy the dumbest person could ever write.
And also just like, it's also just kind of relying on the fact of like striking first, like you said, literally doing the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
If you just hit the other guy quick enough, then you're smart. You're quick and strong.
But yeah, it was interesting that they saw like his brother, like they show his brother and he's bald, and then when they show his brother again, he's not bald. So I was like, well, I guess, sometimes...
But he was undercover. He probably shaved his head.
He shaved his head for
his brother who works for Homeland Security.
He's Homeland Security, and he can save the world or whatever. Like, it's so dumb. Like, because it's like, what is the show about? Like, what is he like?
It's a spy TV show.
But it's like, what is Reacher about?
Reacher is about nobility.
he's
about
about
strength of character,
being strong and using it the right way, right? Like that's what his mom
it's
literally
going
says.
your own way. It's going your own way.
Rich are going their own way.
Because there's a great bit in this TV show where do you remember when they find out that the mayor what is it? The girl, his love interest, figures out that her mentor he didn't kill himself, he was killed by the people behind the big conspiracy that the show is about. And she gets pissed off because she's like, I want to kill the people that killed my mentor, my father figure. And he has a flashback to when he was told to apologize for beating the shit out of another kid, a bully. Yeah. And instead of, he doesn't just refuse to do it, but he goes up and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't fuck up the other side of your face. That's right, pussy.
That's what and then he walks away.
He walks away in such a way that he's like, I'm so fucking cool. I'm fucking badass. I'm the fucking smartest motherfucker in the world. And the culmination of that is that usually when people look into a flashback in a TV show or a movie, it gives them new insight and they can look at things a bit differently. They remember something, so they can go like, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Instead, it just makes him go, I'm doing the correct thing. I've always been right, and I'm going to continue to be right. And he goes outside and he says to his love interest, never apologize, and we're going to kill the people that killed your mentor. We're going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the correct thing to do.
That is the
he's always been right, and he will always be right.
He also kind of targets evil people. Like they're always
he
like kind of objectively evil.
The evil.
Yeah. And my favorite flashback in the entirety of the season is just insane. Like I thought I would flip when I saw it and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's when he's at the airport, coming out of the airport, and he stares at a guy with like a bag, like a rolling bag, and it cuts to him using like them packing up to go basically from Okinawa to Germany. Bag. And I was like, what the fuck? Are you insane? Like, what the fuck is this? He saw the same bag. You know,
dude, this is great schlocky TV.
It is insane. Like I saw that and I literally rewind it to show my brother because my brother was on his phone. Yeah. Like what? And I was like, look at this. Like I was like, what the fuck is this? It's so good, dumb.
It's so stupid. I like the show. It's very entertaining.
It is.
I'll watch the second season, I think. But it's very stupid.
It's very incredibly stupid.
But I think I think they know it is. I think they lean into it with a lot of the jokes and stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of the ways people react to Reacher is very like I love there's a bit early on where he gets like stabbed in the back or whatever, gets cut in the back and he's getting patched up. He's getting patched up by his love interest and she's like, well, I had done all I can, but if you want it to get better, you're going to need to get stitches. And he just goes, no. And she's like,
it's
all right.
blue, I guess.
Okay. All right, well.
And it's funny
stitches, I guess, man, whatever.
And then he later on.
Not my problem.
Later on in the show, he's wearing the same shirt that he wore on while that happened. He's got a piece of tape over that hole, and I was like, "That's cool." Like that, he's like doesn't give a fuck, and he doesn't give a fuck to replace that too, Like he literally doesn't give a shit.
Well, I think that's what's so fun about the show is that Jack Reacher he's written as like the ultimate male power fantasy.
Yes, absolutely, and. There is a funny and just so many jokes about how big it is. He's huge.
Alan Ritchson is a huge dude.
I have to give him that. But
they did cast a big ass guy to play.
There is I don't remember. It's in one of the episodes near the end where they make a joke about how huge he is 3 times within like 2 minutes, and they're different people making the joke, and it's insane. Like it's like it's when he gets a suit. He goes you're so big or something. Or like then he like goes somewhere else.
The tailor gives him like a suit for like a professional basketball player or something.
Yeah, or something. Pick the suit up. Then he goes to the police station where the lady is, and she says, "Wow, he's huge." It's just so many times.
It really, the whole show is just about what if there was a really big guy.
Yeah,
he's a really big guy walking around punching people who are evil.
and he loved blues. You know,
He
like
loved
that's
the blues.
He just loved blues.
Do you like?
You know?
Do you like the little like race joke where you have Jack Reacher, who's like a big white guy who loves like blues and jazz and stuff, and his black friend in
Finley.
the show, the cop Finley, who likes
white
like
people
classic
music.
rock and stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
He likes like fucking Journey and Blue Oyster Club or whatever the fuck they're called, Cult Club.
Good gag.
Yeah.
But generally, I feel very endeared to the show. you
Yeah.
know?
There
It's
is
like
this-
I like the characters, I like the performances, I like the writing. I think I appreciate that it does feel like they're conscious of the fact that
It's schlocky.
it's very schlocky and it's very stupid.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I miss in TV a bit is
Yeah.
conscious schlockiness, you know?
Yeah.
Just being like, we know that this is kind of really corny, but
Yeah.
we're going to lean into that a little bit. Not so much that it's like, it doesn't feel ironic, you know?
Yeah. No,
But it just feels conscious
it's
of the
pretty
fact
straight.
that it's like, yeah, it's all played very straight. But it's conscious of the fact that it's like, this guy is a really stupid character conceptually.
Yeah. There is a scene in this show where there is a crooked cop kills another cop in the cop car, and then they're in the back seat, and they kind of make the guy crash into a river.
They lift up him and his friend Neely start like ramming their feet into like the back of the front seats of the cop car.
And they ram they of course they go down into like on the bottom of the river, and the guy goes like, "You gotta save me, you gotta take me out," and Reacher basically tells this guy, "You need to die right now." And the guy goes like,
"Let yourself die, because if you don't, you'll leave, and then the evil people will torture you and kill
your family." And then
they do some evil
and
torture. They like they pin people, they nail people to the wall and cut their balls off and make them eat them and stuff, and make people watch it. And it's like that's fucked up.
It's fucked up. Like it's those evil Venezuelan commandos,
Venezuelan money laundering.
Yeah, and then it turns out, I don't know, like Reacher, fucking, we already been spoiling Witcher, but it turns out like they're fucking just like sending fake cash abroad, like they're making fake cash so then they can export it. It's like, I guess like maybe that would be worth it, but I don't know.
It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
It is hundreds and hundreds,
like
of
big crates of fake $100 bills.
Yeah,
that are just as good. What is it?
They call them super bill. Yeah,
super bills, because they're basically 1-to-1 with regular currency.
Yeah, because it turns out they wash off.
They
I don't know.
Ones. They get ones. And
I was going to look this up. If that's true,
I don't know.
Because it sounds ridiculous.
That was a great running gag in the show, wasn't it? Is that they're like, why does this guy's got like 100 cows? Why is he buying feed for like 1,000? And every character is like, Reacher, forget about the feed. Feed has nothing to do with it. He's got cows and he's buying feed. Forget about it. Turns out the feed has a specific chemical for getting rid of dye in the type of paper they use for money. And he was right all along.
He was right.
Just
all
his
along.
Intuition, his bare intuition was enough.
He would say that's a lot of feed. Like that was his thing.
He going, that's a lot of feed, though, don't you think?
That
and
is
he'd be
true.
like, Reacher, shut the fuck up. You know what? You know what it is? Is that the show is akin to Black Dynamite. I think that's what
a
I
little
mean.
bit. Yeah,
he's white Black Dynamite.
But I guess Black Dynamite was a lot.
He solves mysteries.
Funny.
I mean, Black Dynamite was straight parody of like Dolomite and stuff.
Exactly.
But structurally, this movie is akin to Black Dynamite, but played straight.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it feels just as over the top as Black Dynamite is.
Yeah.
Except played straight, as a big like intrigue, conspiracy, spy thriller TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's got the same thing of them like trying to follow the clues.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the same kind of aha moment as like Anaconda malt liquor gives you a little Richard.
Yeah. It It is a little bit like that.
Yeah,
That's
and I
true.
appreciate
You
that.
know, yeah.
And it's played more straight than Black Dynamite, but there's still a sense of like they know they're making something corny and they're having fun with it, which I appreciate. I like it. You know, it's good to have fun. It's good to have fun.
Yeah,
like it.
and
I'll
it's a
watch the
successful
season two
show.
at some
A lot
point.
of people are like. It seems a very popular show. Like
We
it's
need more
literally
TV
number
like
one.
This is shit that's missing in the Prestige era. I feel
Yeah.
like stuff like
That's
Reacher.
true. They're not try. You know, you gotta sometimes try to. It's either they try to make prestige TV and it sucks, or they make an absolute garbage piece of media. You gotta hit Reacher level, and that would be good. That's good enough.
Don't aim for the stars. you
Yeah.
know? just go for something that's entertaining.
Yeah, squash your ambitions a little bit. You know,
It's
just
not-
a little
just
bit, bring them
like-
down a little bit. You know.
You don't need to aim that high. You
Yeah.
really don't. People will just if your aim is to make something fun and entertaining,
Yeah, exactly.
like an adaptation of the 1997 book Killing Floor,
Killing Floor. Yeah.
the first
Not
in the
the video
series
game.
of Jack Reacher novels, then don't aim for the stars.
Yeah.
Or better yet, aim for the moon and land among the stars, or however that stupid saying goes. Either way, I'll watch
And
season 2.
It's a good role model, I think. Maybe.
I don't think
Would
so.
you want to be a Reacher?
I don't. I would love to be Reacher. If I could press a button right now that would make me Reacher,
It'd make you huge and
that
ripped.
would be that huge and rip and the perfect analytical mind,
Yeah, and also one of the
also-
smartest people. Yeah.
but also charming enough that people are like still like you. You know,
Yeah, he is like he's got kind eyes. You know,
he grows on you.
he grows on you.
He has
I get-
friends. I love in the second episode when he goes to give that dog water because the dog is clanging its bowl around because it didn't
Yeah.
get any water. And the owner comes out and says, "What are you doing on my property?" And he says, "Well, the dog needed water." And he's like, I gave him water a little while ago. He must have knocked the bowl over." And Reacher goes, "No, you didn't. This bowl is bone dry." And the guy goes, "Are you calling me a liar?" And Reacher just goes, "Yes." And the guy is like, "Well, you got to get out of here." It's like that's what every like 25 to 40-year-old like adult white male wants to be
True.
able to do, is to have the size to say something like that, so the other
Yeah.
person is just like, I don't want him to punch me, so I'm gonna let him say whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is why he's not a good role model, because if
Would
we
it
had
be-
lots of guys like that, then the world would be fun. We
Yeah,
do
it
have we
would.
have too many guys like that already. to be
Maybe
honest.
that's true. Yeah, we have a lot of people that are not the Reacher that try to act like the Reacher.
exactly
That's the truth.
exactly.
That's the
He's
truth.
the strong man making good times. Which is unfortunately making weak men that make bad times. But the
Yeah.
bad times will make more Jack Reacher. So in the end, the bad times are a positive in the long run.
That's true.
You know? This is the thing of a cycle. at
It's
the
like
end
a
of the day.
catch-22.
Exactly. You can't have the good times without the bad times. So why is everybody complaining?
Yeah, it's part
Why
of
do you
want to
break the cycle? Do you want to end the good times?
Yeah.
All we have to do is a little bit of bad times and we get good times again.
It's a
What's the
yin-yang, you
problem?
know? It's a yin-yang, you know? You can't have good times without bad times, you know?
All these return people are like, this is the cycle, we need to break it. And it's like, I don't know, I like the good times.
Yeah, and I want more Jack Reacher, you know?
Yeah. I'm not going to get Jack Reacher season 3 if there's bad times.
4, I think, at this point.
4? I don't know. I've only watched the first season.
But
Jack
yeah.
Reacher. All right, here's the Severance spoiler cast before we end today.
Yeah.
If you care about Severance, then I'll say it off the top. Thank you for listening to Dead Ensigns. Have a wonderful week. Please email us, deadensigns@gmail.com. Go to podcast apps and download us, save us, and yada, yada, yada. You know what it is. Anyway,
Yeah.
Severance. Now. Max, what did you
Yeah.
think?
I think if Jack Reacher was in Severance, he would work this whole thing out immediately.
Yes.
He would sort this shit out immediately.
Yes,
you know?
100%. While season 2 was happening, Jack Reacher was in the like town around the Lumen building trying to work out what the problem was. Season 3 is going to be a crossover. Jack Reacher's going to get in there. He's going to save Mark S. He's going to save
Yeah.
Helia. He's going to save Dylan G. And he's gonna, and you know what? And you know what? Mr. Milchick is going to come around. He's going to be on their side.
Yeah, that's true.
I am expecting a heel turn from Milchick next season.
He does seem like he is going to do a little bit of because he is being disrespected a lot.
Well, I think this season has really been playing up him being alienated from the Lumen ideals.
Yes.
Fantastic scene in the finale of probably my favorite scene in the whole finale is Milchick and the Kier like wax statue.
Yeah, doing the speech
is like perfect.
Yeah, the animosity
like,
that was like growing as
incredible direction. Yeah, great cinematography. 10 out of 10 performance. I think this episode alone has made it cemented that Milchick is like my favorite character in the whole show.
Yeah, exactly. And the casting is perfect, basically.
Oh, he's so good.
Let's say who it is. Shamal Tillman.
Shamal Tillman, that's it.
Amazing casting for him.
Great. And then we get his first name as well, Seth.
I really love the scene
bit where he makes a comment about Kier's height.
Yeah, exactly.
Bites back just a little bit, and it's like,
thank you, Seth.
Thank you for your input, Seth.
Yeah, just venom spewing from him. And I love the scene where Dylan's in Neos gets the form to fill out, and Milchick just puts it down and sprints full sprint. You know, like
I had to rewind because I like blinked and missed it. I was like, did he like sprint away?
Yeah, I love the way
and I was like, yeah, there he goes.
I love the way they shoot it. You know, where it's like from the perspective of Dylan sitting. So when he moves, when he framed it, where he moves out of the frame immediately, and you see the top of his head as he's moving away, and it's great. It's awesome.
But Milchick aside, I don't know about you, but for me, the finale made up for like the last couple episodes of being kind of dragging a bit.
Yeah,
you know?
true. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
and I think the finale made up for that that pacing. But then on top of that, the finale made up for the 3-year wait for me.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I was watching.
I wasn't mating for it that much, so
because it's still in the back of my mind every now and then. I was thinking like, as much as I'm enjoying it, 3 years was a long ass time to wait for this. You know.
Yeah, I think they
it was quite a big.
Really didn't know
a lot of production issues and stuff
they had, so I guess they would really try to.
Well, from the sounds of it, it was like I think there were different directions people wanted to go, and I think 2 of the original creators and showrunners have left the show now.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And there was a lot of issues with what direction they wanted to take, generally.
Yeah.
Between season 1 and season 2, but we'll see if that carries over into season 3. But for me, it was in this episode that I was literally sitting there thinking like. I'm fine with the 3 years now. In my mind, there was just a switch that flicked, and I was like, "This episode is so damn good. I don't care that I waited 3 years for it anymore."
Really good piece of TV. And I really like the kind of ending. Also, like I really like the way they went with it, and I think they did it really smartly. You know, I think it's a very smart way to end this season.
I've seen other people say this, and I agree with them. But it's not wholly my original idea, my opinion. But to what you're saying here is that it feels like it could be a finale. Like it feels like the show could have ended here. You know?
Yes,
There's
true.
a couple loose ends here and there. You know, I feel like they still got to do the Irving B stuff and the Miss Huang from this season. All that stuff. They've left stuff to follow up on, but it's such a strong ending that it's like. Even without those threads being closed, this could be like a great 2 seasons of a TV show just encapsulated here.
Yeah, exactly, you know. But I'm still kind of like, I'm really curious what they'll show us, you know, like especially with the, the turning back at the end, you know. I don't know if you want to, do you want to do like a beginning of the episode and go through it? Or
yeah, we'll go through the broad strokes. I mean, we don't need to spend the next like 40 minutes talking about it. cut ahead 40 minutes while we're still talking about it. Am I right?
It ends. The timestamp is like 2 minutes later. And we're done.
looking at your phone like, oh, they're talking for another 40. Wait a minute, it ends in 5 seconds.
We don't have the comedic stamina to go on.
So we start with a very good intro. We finally get a full conversation between Mark's innie and outie. Very, very well directed. Felt like both a seamless, continuous conversation, but also like elements of montage in it, you know? Just a great way to start. What did you think of this scene, Max?
I feel like this scene, I feel like this is what I've been missing in this season, is the kind of, what I call, like the playing with the idea of the innie and outie, you know? Like, I feel like
you get to see the tension between them.
Yes.
Finally come to bear fruit. Because Mark, outie Mark Scout, is a real fucking piece of shit.
Yes, exactly. And like, when you can, it is fun how he fumbles it. Like, it is a very well performed and
it's very well written dialogue. Because his speech betrays him. You know.
Yes.
Where it's like he wants to express to him that it's like,
I don't care.
You know, you are your own person, but at the same time, it's so condescending. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
It's I heard you met somebody, you fell in love, and I love that for you. You know, I'm glad you had that experience.
Yeah, he calls her like a wrong name or something. Helene or some shit, and you can hear, kind of see the sting in the innie's eyes, you know, where he just kind of like, it's a. Like I love the kind of like, oh, you know, is the reintegration like real? You know, like there's a lot of calling him
on it and stuff.
It's like you're got like 20 years on me, you know. Like if we integrate, you're basically more yourself than me, you know. Like there is a really like kind of stretching and pulling of like a philosophy, I guess, that you kind of
he doesn't want to become diluted, essentially.
Exactly. And also it's like the big point for me was like, but you know, Helena, you know, like you know, and how do you got two partners now, technically, in a way, you know what I mean? It's like he wants to be with her, you know. It's like
the reintegration would create weird issues in who they love, essentially.
Whereas exactly.
Remaining as two separate individuals as they are. It doesn't cause that issue, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But how would you be two separate people like that? How do you square that?
How do you continue, like, you know, like you could think about like, oh, is existence of Lumen, does the innie outie thing has to stop when Lumen stops being a thing, you know? Like, it's like, it is interesting to think about, like, how do we save both of them if we wanted to, you know? In a way, you know?
But outside of that, it's just like, it's a great example. I feel like this is the kind of scene that you can use to teach somebody a lot in film school, you know? A lot about like just blocking your shots, writing dialogue, you know, performance and everything, lighting. Lighting is crucial in this scene. It's the editing and everything, you know. It's the same thing as like, because I remember being shown. I didn't go to film school, animation, but you get taught a lot of the same principles, obviously. I remember being shown like, and in media studies as well. Actually, it might be more media studies, but being shown, you know, the Lord of the Rings, you know, Gollum having a conversation with himself, how that is shot, you know. That kind of thing, where it's just like, if you wanna give somebody a great thing to study and learn from, this is a great scene for that. It encapsulates like filmmaking as a whole, you know. Everything's on display here to make this scene work and flow perfectly. But we finally get a reveal of what the numbers, what the MDR macro data refinement is for, and I interpreted it as though the Lumen are trying to make basically the perfect severed slave, essentially.
Yeah. They're trying to remove all the like kind of whims and whatever, like all the base emotion or whatever you want to call them.
They've been using Mark S and MDR as a whole to basically program Mark's wife Gemma into being like the perfect worker slave, essentially, where when you go into your severed building, you won't be an individual, you'll be like a drone. Yes, basically. You will have no personality and you'll just do your task that you're given.
Yeah, they're literally zapping their emotions out of them. Like,
The perfect little severance chip. And the way they demonstrate this is very brutal, having her like take apart the crib.
Yeah.
Very sad. Gemma in general.
It's a tragic character.
Just a really sad episode.
It's incredibly sad. Yeah,
real depressing stuff.
Yeah, and it's very interesting whether if for season 3 where this is all gonna go and how she's going to react to this.
We'll have to wait and see. But either way, they hatch a plot to be able to save her. They're going to finish the macro data refinement. They're going to finish Cold Harbor, which will initiate the final test on Gemma, which presumably she would be killed afterwards, is the implication. So Mark,
because they gotta remove the chip from her, basically, so it'll kill her.
But Mark has a limited window to go and save her.
Yeah, as this it is interesting that like it was Mark the entire time. Like nobody else did actual work. Basically, it seems like, in my opinion, I feel like.
No,
I don't know. I feel like a little bit like there's a little implication.
Mark, or do you mean
the rest of the
Mark in general? Or?
No. I mean the rest of the innies around Mark's thing.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Dylan G and Helly kept Mr. Milchick busy the whole time.
That's true. And
then you also had the lady that plays Brienne of Tarth fucking beat the shit out of
No. You're misunderstanding me.
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean the actual refining, like the actual physical.
Oh,
like
right.
The actual running. I feel like there's a little implication, because I feel with the beginning of the season where we get the guys, they get introduced to people there. I feel like they were such like they kind of took the runts from other places to just shove in there because they're a company. They're like they're like
I don't think I agree with that. I think over the course of the show they were doing stuff for macro data refinement. I think it's more like in the last, like, however many 4 or 5 episodes of season 2, the implication is that the only thing left to do is the last, like, 2% of Cold Harbor, which is all Mark. But I think they were all doing stuff.
I
think because Mark said he did Mark said he did like 26 folders or something, right? But there's a lot of rooms down there. A lot more than just like 26, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. I get what you mean, but I don't know.
No, it's just like I'm a little feely, I guess, more than anything. But whatever.
Look, we have that fantastic sequence of a marching band. Again, more Mr. Milchick.
Busting
I feel like
moves.
we're mostly just recapping the episode, but I guess ultimately, it culminates in Mark is able to get a hold of Gemma. Get her out, but obviously after we get a lot of switching when they're down in the Gemma's
floor.
Testing area. No, when they're down in Gemma's testing area, it's Outie Mark and regular Gemma. When they get up to the Innie floor, it's Innie Mark and Miss Casey. And he leads her to the fire exit, the staircase. Pushes her out, but then he hesitates, because obviously this is a moment in which he gets to choose whether he continues to live or not. And who appears behind him is Helly, possibly Helena. I've seen some people theorize. We never know.
Yeah, maybe.
We won't know.
I
I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy to theorize because I feel like it's more interesting open.
Yeah,
I don't think I have or want
interesting.
a specific answer, at least now at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like it will be definitely. There is like an implication. I feel like with the, what is it called?
Oh yeah, we should say Mark goes to Heli and runs back into the severed floor, leaving Gemma pounding at the door, begging for Mark to come back and leave. But it ain't her Mark. It ain't her Mark.
That's true. And there's an implication with because what happens is that Heli and specifically Heli at the beginning cut away. They lock Milchick in a bathroom, and so he can't do anything. Like keep him occupied. So and at the end, Mark. We have a scene where Heli kind of talks to all the innies and implies like they're gonna kill us all. Like we are like they're going to hurt us and stuff like that. Like like this isn't gonna. And when Milchick breaks out of the bathroom, Dylan is standing there with all the innies, and there is like that implication of kind of baked in red, literally like they're all baked by red light of like a resistance in a way, sure. It's
the tides are turning at Lumen.
Yeah,
so now we might actually be getting the innie revolution.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting how that would work, if they're gonna go into more like there's gonna be like an actual violent, revolution, or what's going to happen. But yeah, in general, it's I like the ending of them just like running together away, and Gemma just like the acting, like it's just fucking like she's distraught, like it's insane, like it is. You feel incredibly sad, and like what she's gonna do now
across fantastic directing across the whole episode. We end on like a shift back into 16mm to kind of parallel the Gemma episode we had a few episodes ago, in which they kind of used that to imply the memories that Mark and Gemma had. Now it's like I read it as like now this is Heli and Mark, Mark being able to live that essentially.
Creating memories.
They now get to live that themselves as whole individuals, as people, separate from their outies.
It's there is like, especially during the conversation, there's a very like kind of like poignant like bit in the entire conversation where Outie Mark is like, well, you live in hell, like you're like insane,
he's like, the way he interprets it and he tries to sell it to the innie Mark is like, I didn't know you've been in hell because they told me the innies were well taken care of, but it turns out you guys are in hell. But continue.
The innie Mark is like, well, we go by, and we create memories and we create good and happy moments as well as bad moments, We
have each other at the end of the day.
And we have each other at the end of the day, It's a great like point. I feel like it's a really kind of happy thought, in a way. And, it's and
but
it
at the
does
same
kind
time,
of
I wonder if down the line that's what Lumen is counting on to keep them oppressed, essentially,
True. And it is also like the implication, like in general, like the idea of severing, and how much of that other person is a different person, It's like we kind of have an idea that like, oh, that's how it works, but maybe it doesn't. What if someone could say it's like being on a drug, would make you a different person, and suddenly you're kind of. Like we say, like it's not an excuse, when you do something while you're drunk, or something like that. It's like, we don't know yet, honestly, and maybe we won't know. Maybe this isn't going to be explored. It isn't important, but maybe it is, we'll see in the rest of the story. But it is very much it's a very interesting setting and like very fun to explore and watch the writers explore it, and just execute
it's a great
it
show
brilliantly.
And it's worth the watch.
Yeah, definitely. And they're making season 3 already. I wonder when they'll be done.
Yeah, they've got the green light from Apple TV to keep going. They've ordered another season.
couple of more billions. And they
have the money to burn it. Okay.
That's true. And the thing about it is that like you can feel the quality in this show.
Yeah.
That it is very well made. Like the money
definitely.
is there for them, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's an episode that's like, oh, you can feel that it's like, oh, they're saving money for like or something like that, trying to then maybe put a bit more in the finale or something. But it's like, no, it does have like the quality.
They were kind of spinning they were spinning their wheels a bit on the Cobell episode.
Yeah, Cobell in episode, but it's like still they had to go like ow and whatever. I don't know, whatever. But they had to explore that idea. I guess it is important in a way, to.
Not that there wasn't important information in the episode, but it was like there wasn't a lot of important information.
True.
And there was a lot of just kind of not I don't mean this in like this stuff was filler, this episode didn't matter. It was important. They made a whole episode. It's important that they do an episode about this, but it's very slow. Not a lot happens in that episode at all, but it's still like 40 minutes.
I'm really interesting, going back, reminding me that episode of something that I was kind of thinking watching that episode is like, I wonder what's the kind of, because it hasn't been really brought up that much, but like the importance of ether in the entire thing. I think ether is like, because they're in literally like an ether factory or whatever, I wonder if, because we know that Keir worked in an ether factory too, he worked over. So like, I wonder how that kind of, is that worked in anything that then that affected Keir in some way that then it kind of maybe became Lumen in a way, or something like that, like if I don't know, it's just like it's brought up enough times that I'm like, I'm interested,
There's a lot of mystery and world building still left to do in a following season. So we'll find out in, I don't know, 3 more years, I guess.
30 years, maybe.
See you in 3 years, ladies and germs.
Maybe they'll do Severance in real life. Severance in real life.
What if we do a severed podcast? Like, it's you got to do the innie episode and then the outie episode, and then
they like the innies,
and they listen to each other, and they listen to each other's episodes.
Yeah, and our innies are better than us.
That's nothing. Fuck this. Thanks for listening to Dead Ensigns. Probably the number 2. I'll be honest, there's a lot of Severance podcasting, I imagine. So this is probably the number 2. Probably the number 2 Severance podcast, I'll be fair.
Our innies are number 1.
True. Oh my god, bro. Thanks for listening. I did stuff earlier, but I'll just say it again. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like it or rate it on whatever you're using and subscribe on whatever you're using. You can also go to YouTube and watch it there, and if you go to YouTube you can leave a comment and we'll read it and we'll be like, wow, thank you for the comment, we've turned it into content. Isn't that amazing? But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can go to Dead Ensigns, or you can email deadensigns@gmail.com and send it right to us. We'll see.
Or maybe make a video response and make Ben's dream a reality.
You could do that if you want. It's doable.
A rare opportunity.
Just if you do, make sure to comment about it or email it to us, because otherwise I don't think we'll see it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.